guys, today I'm going to do a video and I'm going to show the differences of these two brushes. I have the MAC 188 Dual Fiber Small Face Brush and I have the Real Techniques Foundation Brush. The first brush that we're going to look at today is the MAC 188 Dual Fiber Small Face Brush. When I went to MAC, this was recommended for my liquid foundation to get a nice smooth, even airbrush look. So I picked this one up. It retails for $35 at MAC.com or any MAC counter that you go to. And it is a duo fiber. It has 100% goat hair down at the bottom, and then it has synthetic hair up on the top. I'm going to let you know what I dislike about this brush. The first thing is the brush is not that old, and the handle and the ferrule have separated somewhat. They're loose. I can feel it loose in my hand. I know it's hard to see, but every time I use the brush, it's really uncomfortable. I should have returned the brush because it did happen right away, but I live really far from a MAC location, so it would have been kind of a hassle to have to go and return it. And I kept saying I would return it, and then I actually never returned it. So I procrastinated too long, and then I felt uncomfortable exchanging it after that because it had been a long period of time. For the price that I paid for that, that's kind of really disappointing. That shouldn't be loose like that. So I'm disappointed in that point of the brush. The second thing that I dislike about this brush is the actual fibers. If you look here closely at the goat hairs, they're so frayed and horrible and scratchy and not soft, and I really dislike that. And I'm going to show you a close-up of that. I've only used MAC brush cleaner on this, so there should be no reason why those hairs are so wonky like that. And like I said, they're scratchy. I feel them on my face when I use the brush. The top bristles here are nice and soft, the synthetic ones, and I don't have any issues with those whatsoever. Another thing that I dislike about this brush is the density of it. I don't feel that it's dense enough. If you see how soft it is on the top. Currently, my foundation of choice is my MAC Studio Sculpt with SPF 15 foundation. This is quite a thick foundation, so this brush to me just isn't dense enough for the application of that. I don't get a smooth application with it. Now, I also have been using the Smashbox Camera Ready BB Cream, and I've tried this brush with it as well, and it also does not perform well with the BB Cream. Another thing that I really dislike about this brush is it sheds like crazy. I think it sheds more than I do. Anyway, it really sheds. I get a lot of these little black hairs on my face when I'm applying my foundation, and that's absolutely terrible. Like, you have to check yourself 50 times in the mirror before you leave, because like I can't even imagine going out in public and having those little black hairs on my face. It would be a really embarrassing situation, and it doesn't just shed a little, it sheds a lot. And again, I've only washed this with MAC brush cleaner, so I'm thinking that that should not be the case. I mean, I know that natural brushes do shed a little bit, but this seems a little extreme. And also, as far as the ferrule and the handle separating, when I wash my brushes, I make sure to dry them upside down so that no water runs inside the ferrule, so I don't think that's what loosened it over time. And like I said, it happened right away when I first got the brush, so I think it was probably just a defect off the bat. Well, those were all the things that I disliked about the brush, plenty, including the $35 price tag. The next brush I'm going to show you guys is the Real Techniques foundation brush. Now this one retails for $8, which is a huge difference over the MAC brush. This one is $8. Now the bristles on this one are 100% synthetic, and it does have a different shape to it. Now there is no ferrule and handle, it's all one-piece construction, which I really like, and it has an aluminum body and a small rubber handle down at the bottom. It's really lightweight, and I really like it compared to the MAC brush. It just feels more comfortable in my hand when I'm using it. Another thing that I love about this brush is the density of it. It is so dense, so it works really, really well with my thicker foundation. And the density too is, if you can see, it gets into really tight spots and places. So when you're on your face and you're trying to get around your nose and your mouth, you can really angle this brush and twist it and turn it and get it to go into all those little nooks and crannies, and it really airbrushes out the foundation. If I did the same thing with the MAC brush, you would see that I can't get that same control, and if you notice, the brush just kind of collapses because there's no density whatsoever. And to get into all the nooks and crannies on your face, it just doesn't even naturally lie flat. So I'm not liking that part of it either. This foundation brush is awesome. I love it. And I would not be without it. Here, let's kiss it again. I've been using it for 2 weeks and people have been complimenting my skin. It's obviously this brush because it's the only thing that I've changed. And like I said, I paid $8 for it. What a steal. I mean, you cannot go wrong with this brush whatsoever. So if you're using anything else and you're curious about this brush, which is the Real Techniques foundation brush, I would suggest for $8, definitely give it a try. It is so worth it. This brush is so soft. It gets into all the little nooks and crannies on your face. It washes and cleans really well. It doesn't shed. It feels light in the hand, so you get really good control with it. And I'm really, really satisfied with it. I hope this review of these two products and just comparing the two has helped you. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them down below. And thanks so much for watching. Bye!